Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's a little movie that came out last week, the week before, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Welcome everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and then also get into it's been a while since I've been here. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. I think it's someplace down over here. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you like what you see here, or if you're still on the fence about subscribing at the very end of this video, take a look at the very top here. There's going to be videos that pop up here and over here as well, and stuff that's going to be depending on what you've watched on YouTube, that kind of stuff that'll be popping up there. And I've got over 1,000 videos, so hopefully, if something catches your eye and you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button. So, where have I been for a little while? Work's been kicking my ass left and right. So, yeah, I had to take a little bit of a break and focus on that, and just general crap that happens in life, that kind of stuff. So that's the reason why I haven't been on in a while. I kind of revamped a little bit of stuff. I wanted to redo the logo, which you've seen. The logo's a new logo now. This is the logo I've always wanted. Quite honestly, it's in the style of the Flash Gordon, the 80s movie logo. So that's what I did there. If you ever wondered why I've never put out any kind of merchandise for this channel, that's the reason why. I've never really liked the logo that I had. The logo was always supposed to be a temporary logo, and I just never got around to doing the new one. So that's why I've got this one up now. So with that said, this is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you still want to be surprised by it, go away. I'm just going to say right now, had to reach back there a little bit. It's a little harder to reach back there. And also my camera's doing weird mirror stuff now. So YouTube has switched things out a little bit since the last time I've been on. So that's the thing that's a little bit weird now. So spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie. If you have not seen the movie, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section, giving you enough time to run away, whatever you need to do, all that kind of good stuff. All right. So for those of you who are regular viewers of this channel, you know that I'm a huge George Miller fan. Love George Miller. Fury Road was one of my favorite movies by him. He did a great job of that. His wife did excellent editing on that movie. It's probably the pinnacle of movie. It's a fucking phenomenal movie. I mean, there's a reason why it was up for Oscars and all that stuff, and why it won Oscars as well for editing. That was his wife's first editing job, and she wins an Oscar right out the gate. So awesome movie. So of course, Charlize Theron originally played Furiosa in the first movie and in Fury Road, and this is supposed to be a prequel. So we're finding out how Furiosa became Furiosa. And instead of bringing Charlize Theron back and de-aging her, they bring in Anya Taylor-Joy. And I'm going to say this flat out right now. This movie is almost 3 hours long, right? There's 5 acts to this movie. They literally, George Miller spaces it out and says, act 1, and he has a title for it. Act 2, title, so on and so forth. I had to get up by act 5, when I saw the title card for act 5, I was like, fuck it, I got to pee. So I got up, ran to the bathroom, peed, and came back, that said, there's a reason why this movie isn't making money. 1 is the length, and 2 is it should have been a Max series, is really what it should have been. It should have been 6 episodes, 6-hour-long episodes, and you could have split it 3 episodes, 3 hours on young Furiosa, because that's pretty much how the movie plays out. You don't see Anya Taylor-Joy until, I want to say, about the halfway mark of the movie, probably a little bit before the halfway mark of the movie. So you have her as a child through most of this, and it takes place like over 15 years, if you will, of her life. And that hurts it quite a bit. I mean, you're asking a lot of your audience to go through that much. especially in a Mad Max brutal world where you're having a lot of brutality that's being shown as well. So I would say this is more akin to the violence in, I don't know, Mad Max. The first Mad Max was violent, and it was shocking for its time, but I think Road Warrior was more violent in its, and this kind of follows the Road Warrior violence, the level of violence in there, and probably ups the ante a little bit on that as well. Yeah, there's parts of it where I'm just kind of going, okay, yeah, all right, we don't need to see that. That's fine, but there you go. Um, that said, like I said, this should have been a max series. You could have done 6 hours of this, and you could have been done with it. Um, and that's kind of what hurts it, is it's just long, and you don't have the lead actress in there until halfway through the movie. Chris Hemsworth does a great job. I mean, uh, as Dementis, even with the fake nose thing going and all that stuff, he plays this whacked out villain who is essentially burn the whole world type of, burn the whole world down kind of thing. And you do get a little bit of his background as to that he's lost children in all of this, and he's kind of lost his mind, which, with the name Dementis, that would actually kind of fit. So he does an excellent job in this as well. And I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy, of course, does a great job as well, but there's not a lot else riding on this when you're having your two characters kind of there is another character in this, and I don't even remember if they actually named him. He is the driver that basically teaches Furiosa how to drive war rig, and he does a great job as well. And I've seen this actor before. He is an Australian actor, and I can't remember his name at the moment. I guess I could look it up, but I forgot to do that beforehand. Again, like I say, I work during the day, so I didn't plan this out. If you've watched my videos, you know exactly what I mean. Um, he does a great job as well, but there's just so much backstory in all these people, and so much story that's in this. And I think that's why Fury Road was so much different. Was you this is that was more of a chase scene that added a little bit of story, as you're going along, just a little bit here and a little bit there. Where this is more, everyone has a backstory, and we're going to show a little bit of that backstory, and we're going to do some exposition, and it's going to be 3 hours long, and that's what kind of kills it. That said, when it comes out on streaming, it's probably gonna be the most streamed movie that, came out. I mean, look at Madam Web. When Madam Web came out on Netflix, everyone was watching that. Same thing with, Godzilla Minus One. I saw that in the theater. It's amazing movie, but it's number 1 on Netflix right now. It just came out a couple of days ago. And, yeah, it's people always kinda lament. They're going, "Oh, well, movies are dead," "Cinema is dead." It's not dead. You just need to start playing a little bit more to your audience at this point. Your audience does not want to sit through um 3 hour long expositions. I mean, for me, especially at we're approaching $25 now a ticket is what we are approaching here, with fees and all that kind of stuff. And if you add on concessions, if you get concessions and stuff like that, easily for one person, you could spend $50, for a movie, a night out at a movie. People are going to not want to pay that if they're not going to be, I guess you could say, wowed, entertained, blown away, especially when you have, and I've beat this drum before, when you have a whole bunch of streaming services that are doing as good, if not better, shows and movies with the same budgets, but they're streaming at home, so people can watch it at home, rather than having to go to a theater and deal with, a set time, a set place, distractions. You have people on their cell phones. You have people talking during movies. You have, um, for the movie theater that I go to, you have waiters and waitresses that come through and are doing orders or dropping off food, all that kind of stuff, which also is an extra added distraction. You can't pause the movie to go to the bathroom, which you can at home when you can with streaming. So there is all of that. And yes, people did get spoiled during the pandemic where things were streamed early on. And that's the other thing, too. If streaming, if you buy it as streaming or you rent it streaming, it's 20 bucks, right? 20 bucks for if you have and you get like a 24, 48-hour window, something like that. Um, for a family of four, if you will, even a family of two, that's still saving money than going to the theater and spending, again, like I said, almost $25 ticket. For me, I watched it on something called ScreenX. So ScreenX, you have the screen in front of you, and then for certain scenes, they actually project it onto the walls of the theater, on the sides of the theater. It's not stretched out, but it's really kind of cool. So it's almost like you're immersed in the movie, and it's not that much extra. I think it's like an extra buck or two, something like that, than the normal movie ticket. Um, and then, but then you add on the service fee for your ticket, which is another 250, I think is what it is, or $3. And that's when you're getting approaching your $25 a ticket. I think mine was $24. Yeah, I think it was $24 for the ticket price altogether. And bargain matinees have also been kind of phased out as well. So this is the reason why this movie didn't do all that well. It's too long. You're not having your lead come in until halfway in the movie, and just way too much exposition. And people don't want to pay that kind of money for this at this point. They want, I usually try and reserve my money for the big bombastic movies, if you will, like Deadpool and Wolverine. That's going to be, I know it's just going to be a dumb fucking fun movie. It's going to be a Marvel movie. And that's the reason why superhero movies do so well, by the way, is because people want popcorn movies that they can see in the theater. Go figure. So boiling it all down, now I'm at the 12-minute mark here. Is it worth my time? No, not in the theater, it isn't. Is it worth your time streaming? Yes, it is. It's worth your time streaming. That's why you can actually pause it, uh, go to the bathroom, get something to eat, that kind of stuff. Uh, it wasn't my favorite George Miller movie, but it wasn't my most disliked George Miller movie, which I honestly I can't think of one at the moment. I love 3,000 Years of Longing. That was a good movie. I saw that on a plane. I saw that on a tiny screen, and I want to see it on a bigger screen. I keep forgetting to rewatch that. Furious, excuse me, Fury Road is still my favorite of his. Road Warrior, of course, classic. He's done so many great movies, and to have kind of a even a misfire of his is still a really good movie. So yeah, it's not worth poo-pooing it or anything like that. And I know there's gonna be other people that break this down a lot more than I have, more succinctly, if you will, or do a post-mortem on this that is just way, way, way too involved. Uh, but probably in another 5 years or so, we'll figure out why movies of this era haven't been performing, if you will, as well. So there you go. Um, again, like I said, oh, and I'll say this. So it's a spoiler, by the way, too. The end thing about what happens to Dementis and having a chronicler, if you will. The chronicler, the guy, the voiceover was so it's reminiscent of Road Warrior again. But then at the same time, I don't know if this dude is immortal because he is the same guy who was when she was young, when she was a kid, he was a history man, is what they were calling him, and he has history written all over him. So basically, all the history is written on him, so on his skin, so he can actually read it off, and he has a knowledge of a whole bunch of things. And at some point, he is still telling Furiosa's story when she's grown up, even though he was looked like he was in his 80s by the time when she was a kid. which is really kind of confusing in this whole Mad Max story. I mean, same thing with Fury Road. There's Was Tom Hardy actually Mad Max, or was he the feral kid grown up and he kind of emulated Max? Because there's a theory out there that the Tom Hardy character um, doesn't say that he's Max until the very end, where he says to her, my name is, and he kind of thinks for a minute and says Max. And it's like he had to think about what his name was. And was it a name that was his? Was it a name that he remembered? There's that theory that's out there for all of that too. So, and given the amount of time that has passed in Fury Road, it seems like there's a lot of time past the apocalypse at that point, like 50 years. So yeah, the timelines in these movies are just so screwed at this point too. So anyway, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Tomorrow I'm going to be off, and then Wednesday I'm going to do The Acolyte season 1 and episodes 1 and 2, because of course that drops tomorrow. But since it drops around 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 Pacific, and it's going to be 2 episodes that drop, I figured everyone's going to be busy watching it, and you're not going to come in and watch this at the. I don't want to do a review of that after all is said and done. So that's why I'm going to wait until Wednesday and do it then. And that's pretty much all I got going on for the rest of this week. Next week, of course, there's going to be The Boys that shows up. And of course, The Acolyte's going to be there as well. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff that's coming up here. So what you want to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Also, I have a list of future stuff that's coming up as well. So I went through and dug out a whole bunch of TV shows, movies, what the release dates are, all that kind of stuff, and it's all there. So if you ever want to see what the geek stuff is, it's coming out, and it's selected things. I didn't put everything. I put a good majority of stuff in there. It's a long list, so go and take a look. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night, I guess you could say. And I see there's been some lurkers there. Thank you to those of you out there who joined me today and lurked around. And thank you out there for watching. If you're still on the fence about subscribing and you know who you are out there, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button. There's someplace around there, down there. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to take a man and throw a peach pit in his crotch and make a tree grow out of his crotch and keep him there for the rest of his life. Don't ask me how that happened. That's the way it works. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and yeah, I'll see you again. Oh, I see Raymond out there. Hey, nice to see you too, Raymond. The text is actually really tiny now down there. Like I said, they've changed things out there. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your night, and take care, everyone. Have a good night. And I'm trying to, there we go. Now I know where it's, like I said, YouTube's changed things around. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.